I think you know very well that there's not a single day trader in crypto right now that is making any money, especially over the long run. There's just no way they're making these moves, all right? So we just saw Bitcoin go to $90,000 again. Right now, as I'm speaking, it's about $90,300. It just broke above the $80,000 range. Yes, what you're seeing right now is absolute manipulation, but that's normal. Wall Street is involved fully with this game. We saw what happened on October 10th, when $19 billion were wiped out from this space. And that meant Wall Street is taken over. They are the kings in this space right now. Unfortunately, if you don't like the Wall Street kings in this space, you shouldn't have wanted those ETFs. You shouldn't have wanted BlackRock to get involved and so on. But now they're here and they're not going to leave, okay? So does that mean you should be bearish? Absolutely not. Check this out. Credible on Twitter. Market cap of global equities is $150 trillion. Gold, 30 trillion. Crypto, under 3 trillion. So you tell me, how can you possibly be bearish at this point when we are at just under $3 trillion with what is happening around the world? You know that people are, and institutions and countries are buying up this space en masse. That is why they're making people miserable. Sentiment is lower than I've ever seen it. And guess who's buying? BlackRock and Wall Street. All right, they pretty much own Wall Street. Let's go over to Vanguard now. Okay, so they essentially own part of the Federal Reserve. It's a private entity. And they own the US government along with BlackRock and State Street, you know. They're all one giant entity, the big club that you ain't in. Okay, so they are allowing clients to buy crypto ETFs starting today. So a lot of people are like, oh, you guys are too late. Those guys are idiots. They're stupid. Okay, so the people that are saying that, just click unfollow right now. Just click those guys, the unfollow button on those guys, okay? Because they don't do a lick of research. I've been saying this for a long time, that people are making fun of Vanguard are kind of dumb, because what's happening with Vanguard, they own the majority of Bitcoin mining in the United States. They've been taking full advantage of Bitcoin mining in the United States, and now they're going to give a little sprinkle onto the ETFs. You think they really care about that stuff? Not really, but they want control, and they do want control of the crypto space. You know, once you allowed Wall Street, once those, you know, your favorite influencers out there, the YouTubers that were super excited about Wall Street, BlackRock, and all those guys getting involved, now you have the big boys. This space is going to be changing very fast. Okay, now listen to this. We have Bitcoin has never dropped below its electrical cost. Current electrical cost is $71,000. Technically, if we did go under that, that would be a bear market. Potentially, okay? So do I think we're in a bear market? Absolutely not. So yes, if it does drop below $71,000, I would concede it's a bear market, okay? But at that point, it's like, okay, how much further do we have to go? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how low Wall Street wants the price of Bitcoin to go, because that's the question we have to ask ourselves now. How low do they want this price to go? And right now, you know, sentiment is really low. Once again, I've never seen sentiment so low in my life. So let's go over to MicroStrategy. Okay, so MicroStrategy is down over the past year, 56.86%. So over the past 365 days, it's down about 57%. Bitcoin isn't even close to that much down from its all-time highs, which is really good. And it shows you that Bitcoin is so much more resilient than a third-party proxy. Now, even Bob Lucas here says, sell Bitcoin to pay a dividend for money borrowed to buy Bitcoin. Literally the definition of a Ponzi. I'm not saying it's too much of a Ponzi scheme, okay? But what I am saying is that we've been saying that there are dangers, there's giant red flags out there that you need to be aware of. And Heidi did many videos actually last year when it wasn't cool to talk about Sailor in this way. Now people are kind of feeling more comfortable because the price of strategy is down, and the fact that he's saying, yeah, we could potentially have to sell Bitcoin if this and this happen. But I'm not going to get into that because that's a long story. Heidi's actually going to cover that in the next couple of days. So stay tuned with that video. Now let's go over to U.S. banks. The Federal Reserve just pumped $13.5 billion in the U.S. banking system through overnight repos. This is the second largest liquidity injection since COVID and surpassed even the peak of the dot-com bubble. Probably fine, carry on. So what's happening behind the scenes right now? They have two different balance sheets. They have one for the public to see, and they have one for themselves. Obviously they do. I mean, come on. They're a central bank that doesn't take orders from anyone. They can get away with anything. And so now the Federal Reserve today is starting quantitative easing. All right. So they're getting rid of quantitative tightening and going on to quantitative easing. But here's the thing that you need to just see right between the lines here is that they're printing regardless of whether or not they're doing quantitative easing or quantitative tightening. They're printing so much currency, guys. Like you don't even have to pay attention to this stuff, okay? I'm bringing it up so that you understand that you really don't need to pay attention to these things. You don't even need to pay attention to FOMC meetings. I don't really care what the Federal Reserve has to say, but I know some of you guys do, so I'm going to tell you. But here's the thing that you just need to take away is that they're printing so much currency to make your head spin, and there's no way to ever pay off this debt, okay? Ever. It's not going to happen. I'm not scared of a 35.5% drop, but if you do want to see what we're buying and when we're going to be selling again, check out learningcrypto.com. We are here to guide people, okay? And that is what we've been doing for over a couple years now. And it's been a lot of fun. And we've helped a lot of people, especially getting out of Celsius, BlockFi, FTX. We made videos on that right before those places collapsed in crypto, okay? And that saved people millions. And so we're trying to kind of do the same thing here, especially with what we see red flags in this space. We're going to bring it up regardless of whether or not it's popular, okay? That's all I have. Like and subscribe. Please subscribe because 30% of you still are not subscribed. Talk to you soon.